Maybe she just
tries to,
explain what happened. Oh, keep going.
Yeah. Okay. So that means the PowerPoint, of course, should summarize this document. What I missed in your case, in the sushi case, Jen and Aisin, etc., was the business plan. So when we think about 3 documents, the basic document describing your actual project and the typical organizational, etc., issues to describe your business or your planned business. And then you have the PowerPoint. But what I was missing is a proper business plan for it. That means to calculate all the issues, including the needed capital in a business plan. So that was what I actually was asking for. Yeah, no, she's not yet trying. You remember that the guys from the virtual reality product, they had an explicit business plan they presented. So the question is to you 3, what did you do meanwhile in the time or during the last days to actually renovate your approach? Liang, Chen, Aisin.
Well, we did make some improvement, and I will show you that document later.
So, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm ready. And well, I can't show my screen now.
So I have to give you the co-host.
Yeah.
So now you should be able. One question. Could you just send me the document to my mail account.
Yeah.
Yeah, upronet@web.de.
Now, should we do it now or
just now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's easier because it's very difficult to read.
Got it.
So I can open it in parallel. Sorry, Liang, to interrupt you.
Okay. Oh God, my computer just stopped.
The system stops?
No, just 4 seconds.
Okay.
To close the document so I can send it email to you.
Mm-hmm. Did you send it yet?
Not yet. Minutes. Wait 2 minutes. Now you should get the email.
Okay. Okay, here we are. So yes, here we are. Good, I just opened it. So I should have the document right here. Okay. Okay.
你声音很卡，很卡，你声音很。Yeah, far more better. Full straight.
I do not see your document, right?
Yeah, because she's internet got some small problems, so she just closed the video to make sure the internet.
Okay. Because just to tell me where you are in the document. Okay, because you should tell me where are you in the document. Yeah, just
他想知道你到哪一页了。Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I think in the document you sent, I cannot see the graphics.
What?
Now. Okay. Now it's opened. Yeah. Okay. Now it's open. Just a second. China's restaurant industry, market size. So now I get proportion of China's catering industry sales. So that means that catering is a takeaway, which means also everything outside your restaurant, right? Yes, that means if you look at your takeaway business, that means that your major or most important figure is what are you actually covering in your offering? Are you covering the Japanese food only, or do you cover other areas in this statistic? So, but if you are looking for the catering, your target volume are the 4.5%. That is your target market. 4.5% all over China, right? Okay, good. So the question is, did you actually, and that would be the next issue or question, did you check whether the local market share distribution is equal or nearly equal to the overall market share?
Well, that's basically right on the situation in Shanghai, because we know this 4.5% is all over the country, but Shanghai, as a as a big city, as an international big city, it should have more market share about this 4.5. I mean,
okay.
In Shanghai, this 4.5 is just the average number for the whole country, but Shanghai actually a little higher than that.
Okay, so you expect a higher market share in Shanghai?
Yes.
Of your Japanese food. Okay, correct. So that means in the catering environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, keep going.
So the the Meituan or Elema, I think, are they comparable with Lieferando, etc.?
Yes, far more bigger actually.
Yeah, but they do like Lieferando. They are delivering at the end.
Yes.
But you want to deliver by your own mainly.
Yeah, because if you let them deliver your food, you should pay at least half, maybe uh, half of the hmm, half price of the food to them, and it's uh, obviously made your product even more expensive than before. So we want to keep our advantage, which is high performance, but the price remain on acceptable stage.
So that means at the end you have two channels. You go via Meituan, and the other way is you deliver by your own.
We prefer to make it by our own, because if we make it by our own, we can control the final price of the product. So
and the quality, of course, of delivery. Yeah.
Because if you give your food to this to this platform, they just random send you a deliver, and who knows when will he finally, how much time he will take during the delivery. It's out of control from our side. And if we hired our own team, it's still controllable,
But you know that you have that you have an investment and cost issues to carry if you prepare yourself with an own delivery model. This, of course, is an investment you have to do. You need the cars or whatever instrument or logistic to go for this model. So don't forget the costs involved.
But it's still a far plan for about 1 year later. So maybe we can do it later and put it in the schedule.
Yeah, but just remind that you need to have this in your business plan.
Sure.
That you need after whatever a half a year or a year, you need to look for this delivery model.
Mm-hmm.
And also because of the business plan, probably you have to look for your marketing activities and your marketing budget to start relatively early to market the delivery service, because it can help you to actually provide your stationary restaurant. And of course, you probably are able to earn money before you attract enough people for the restaurant itself.
Yeah.
Just to remind you on this. Okay, let's go on. Sorry. Liang, sorry for interrupting you. So that means you are actually telling that you have a target market in Shanghai related to the overall market size and the Japanese food delivery service in delivery services, etc., of 530,000. Yeah. So that is the amount, or these are the amount of people actually you could imagine is the target market to attract for your product delivery service. One question, because I don't see any I don't see anything about competition. Oh, because if you have 530,000 people which are representing actually your market, then you have to compare yourself with the competition and of course analyze, and that we talked about last time, your business with the competitors and to define a USP, a unique selling proposition, yeah. So which makes you different from the others. Another question is, if you are looking to the 500,000 people, which means this is probably the target market. It means but only the target market for your delivery service, right? You didn't have the market for the restaurant itself defined yet, right?
不是他的意思就是，sorry, we need a small discussion now。就是他的意思是，你一方面你说出了你要做外卖，然后你又要有一个小的快递团队的话，那你应该要把它做到那个计划里面去，他是这个意思。然后哪里？他说你要做一个那个你要做投资的话，你要吸引投资的话，你要把它做到投资表里面去。那 financial 这块是谁在写啊？哦，那 OK， because the financial part is not belong to Liang, cause so she didn't put the financial part in this document.
Um, you mean the financial part of the business plan?
I mean the financial schedule.
Okay, just proceed. Just proceed.
OK，你继续吧。
Okay. That was more or less a document, right? Hello? Hello?
What happened?
I think we lost her. Ah, here we are, Yang. That was more or less the document, right? Okay. Okay. The problem I have with this document is the organization of this document. That means the the logic in this document and the accuracy of describing your business and business opportunities. You create such a general document which describes your business plan, then you should start with a business plan, and based on the business plan, actually to produce this document. Yeah, I don't know how you actually started to think about and to evaluate your idea and market approach, but you definitely should use the organization and the order and the structure of a business plan and take this into a document, and then to add important figures and information into this document, like market shares, etc., what are USPs. Of course, this is not really part of a business plan, which is more or less looking at figures and efficiencies and earnings, a forecast of earnings, etc., etc. So that is the first thing. The second thing is if you do a document like this, there are two ways to actually start with. The first is that you can say, okay, I look to my business, and I look to my business in a way of, represented by the document, plan or idea, plan, and then describe the stations of the logic flow of your business. That means plan the business case, and you from the beginning should separate the businesses you are actually going for, because you are going into two segments. You go to the delivery service and you go to the restaurant, to the stationery. So this is not reflected in your plan, because these are two different stories. Yeah. And then to ask yourself, okay, there is a flow. A customer is calling, the kitchen is working, the goods must be packaged, the good must be delivered, and the payment must be established. And for this flow, you need to actually then describe your infrastructure, your marketing, etc., etc., etc. So to bring a bit more order in the document, and of course, separate the document in your two segments. Yeah, that is very important. And always have in mind that what you describe here is not only a single restaurant. As I understood, you want to multiply this restaurant structure into establishing more and more restaurant. Yeah? Whatever concept you choose. Is it right? So if you plan your idea, you must be very much oriented on a general approach where you say, okay, what I define here now in this restaurant is the basic for anything which follows afterwards, if this concept is proven. Yeah. So that means the business or this general description of your business is not accurate enough. Yeah. It doesn't tell enough about the major parts of your activities you need to establish into the market. The menu is a nice thing, but this is not an issue of your overall business concept. Yeah. What is the most important is what you covered: market share, the USP, if there is a USP. And I said last time, if you don't have significant USPs, then you really should think about establishing a business. Or you say, I don't need a USP because the market is so big, so huge, that there is no problem adding another restaurant into it. So what I want to say is these kind of discussions I'm missing in this document. You have to discuss those things. You have to describe, okay, I don't have a USP to document because this is important in such a plan. But dear reader or dear investor, and that is the end of the game, the final guy or the final organization you produce the documents for. And you have to tell him, I don't establish a USP. I can't explain a USP. But we don't know, we don't need a USP because we just have a crazy big market. So we don't need any competitive advantage. So these documents, and I think you didn't discuss enough about this kind of document to actually focus on the most important question. And as you remember, and I tell you again, what we talked about is, what is your target market? How do you describe the target market? And you have two target markets. You have the target market for the delivery service, and you have a target market for the restaurant itself. And then you calculate your target markets, because the target market in regarding a volume can be different. Because the target market related to the delivery service could be, for example, companies. And for the restaurant is a complete other, a different target market. So, and then you have to define what kind of service do you actually provide the target market. And there you come back to the question of your USP. And then you ask about, how do I actually earn money out of this? And you have to discuss this within a document like this. Yeah. And of course, you need to define these ideas, probably more concrete. If you go into the description of a marketing, that can be very detailed because we talk about a restaurant. Yeah. Flyer activity, company activity, etc. So you have to be more concrete in this presentation. What is very important is a 10% discount, for example, in a marketing. That is not a marketing, this is losing money. Yeah. So you must be very careful. First of all, you need to get as much money as possible from your people. And you need to attract. So marketing is, and you should please work with questions. If you describe something in the document and you think about marketing, then ask yourself questions and write these questions in a document. How do I attract my target market delivery? How do I attract the target market for the restaurant? What shall I do and implement to actually get customers into my restaurant, or get as much as possible to go on my website, etc., etc.? What activities do I have to do? And then you go through the normal instruments. What do I need to do with the social media? So you have to be more concrete. You have to be more concrete, and you have to discuss in the document, and please work with questions. Questions, and then in your internal discussion with your group, and think about those questions, and then represent the questions within the relevant area you are writing about your business approach. The management, what you know what this costs, what you actually proposed, is huge. Yeah. So I don't know what you did in the business plan yet, but it is a huge a huge environment you actually are looking for. So despite this fact, the marketing section and how to attract customers are, of course, become more and more important, because this infrastructure, you have owners, you need to be paid, you have accountant, executive chiefs, restaurant managers, 2 restaurant managers. Everything they have to be paid monthly. So it's very hard to actually describe the marketing and your activities, because you need to speed up your business in a very, very short time. And this is also an issue. If you operate like this, with a quite big structure, you probably have to define phases and say, okay, phase one is this level of amount of people, because you expect a quite low revenue in the first 2-3 months. And because of these investments, you have to be very, very concrete and explicit, define the marketing. I would say if you implement this without giving a plan about the timeline of your management within the restaurant, you have a serious problem.
Could you give us a more specific example for this?
What do you mean?
I mean, especially for the timeline of management.
Okay, so because if you go into a business plan, and the business plan is organized in a way that it asks you to make the most important decision of your business. And when you look at the business plan we were talking about, let me just have a look at the overall, because at the end of the game, we always talk about the structure and order of a business plan. Let me go into this. So we have the business plan. Oh, check it. Okay. So if you look to the slide number, I think it was, it is the number 74 and 75. Let me check. Yeah, and altogether, what is important or relevant are the relevant for this work, or essential for this work, what you actually do, is slide number 76, 77, 78, and 79. That means what do you want to offer? The target market means the sweet spot, the promises you do, and how to make money. And then the key elements of a business plan. And then in slide 78, you see the structure, the overall structure of the business plan. Yeah? Describe the business. Technology plan is, in your case, a different story. Of course, you don't need to establish a technology plan. This is here, for example, your business development plan, that you say, okay, I have a certain concept. I want to define, for example, that I will do more than one restaurant. You have a plan, a license system, etc. And then you come to the financial. And the financial is what is a major part of a business plan. And of course, the result of the business plan is then the basic of your description of your 2 or 3 or 4 pager you are presenting. Because here in the business plan activity, you have to define for what kind of infrastructure and services you are actually use your money. Yeah. And then you have the organization, which you described and said, okay, I have this and this organization within my company. Yeah. You have your ownerships, you have your partners, you have your investors, etc., etc. But this here, the business plan is the basic document. Yes, you're right. You have your idea. You have your principles of your business. Yeah? Let me say, I want to have a restaurant. I want to establish a restaurant with delivery service, etc. I have a market volume. So what is the product, or what is the market? What is the market volume? What do I want to serve to the market? And what do I actually, how do I want to make money? And this, of course, this is a description which is not part of the business plan. But this is describing the overall idea. And when you describe your overall idea, then in this document we are talking about, you take in and you represent the factors, let me open up this. When you describe your business, target market is at the end. The target market is at the end. At the end, it is what to offer. Your promises to the market, what products, etc., and how to make money. So, and here you have a major part of what you need to describe in this document. You talk about the competition, you talk about your products, you talk about your market size, etc., your price, etc., market size, price, competition, marketing, etc. So the overall pieces, what you did, but then you have to go into the value proposition, market opportunities, competitive, what we said, the marketing strategy, organizational management team. And this helps you here to get the input for this overall concept paper. And here you can say, okay, in my concept paper, first of all, I describe my business. What you didn't describe, your business, means your plan. Yeah? You didn't describe, I have two strategies, delivery and if you do this business and product lines, etc., you have to go with every piece to describe your business separately. You have to do a marketing plan, which is divided into 2 pieces. You have to organize or to describe the market, the target market volume, target market size for both of your businesses. within one shop, and then you describe these outcomings from the business plan. And this, of course, reduced to I always say reduced to the maximum. Of course, reduced in paragraphs, but always backed up by relevant figures in the business plan. And if you have the business plan document, what I sent you, and you have, then you see, okay, I have to put the costs in, I have to put the revenues expectation into it. And if you combine, or if you actually go into your business plan, you will see, oh God, my investments in the organization, my investment in marketing, in the production, in the overall organization, etc. The costs are so high. And then you come to the result, oh my goodness, if I start my business in that size with these high costs, I need so much money in the very beginning to actually survive the first 3 months. And this you have to discuss within this paper. And therefore, I told you, create a business plan in a different document you didn't do in the first approach. That is what the venture guys did a bit more explicit. Yeah, that was kind of a business plan, but what they had, the problem is they were not realistic enough regarding the costs, etc., and the income. Yeah. But this is the central document you have to go for. Here, you discuss in your group what it's all about in your business. And part of this here is text and consideration for your main document and telling about the business model, the business processes, etc. But then you need the input of this business plan to actually have the relevant figures or strategies in this overall document. Because this overall document is the basic for any discussion you have with an investor. And if you write in this document organization plan, or you write about what you did about the management, the service people, etc. And then you go into your overview document, and based on the business plan, you write, oh, I need this and this infrastructure to start my business. The investor will say, first of all, he will say, are you crazy? And the second, he will ask you why. And then you have to explain in this overall document in a few sentences, we think we need from the beginning in our restaurant and our delivery service, this organization, which will cost, have a look at the business plan, this and this amount of money, that means this and this amount of revenue. And then you can discuss with this guy and you say, hey, why? What are the figures which tells you that you actually can pay this people infrastructure. So there are descriptions of your business, and you did some of them: marketing, business areas, etc., target markets, target market volumes, etc. But then you have areas like marketing, organizational infrastructure. You need to tell about, but you need to give figures. If you don't create this plan with figures, then you cannot tell yourself about, does this approach make sense? And just remind, everything you do, everything you plan, everything you describe, if you cannot transfer this into figures, you have a problem. If you don't know how much a cook costs today, you have a problem. And the cost, it's not only what you hand over. If you, in Germany, for example, if you employ a cook for, let's say, 50,000 euro per year, then your costs, of course, are higher. That means your costs are probably 90,000 or 80,000 because of health insurance, workers' insurance, blah, blah, blah. You know this, I think. So you have just a number on the pure payments to him, and then you have additional payments for all the social support, pension plans, etc. So do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little complex. But
No,
it's just that.
No. In the beginning, it is, you need to give yourself a structure. Yeah?
Wait. I want a 5 minutes break, because it takes time to think about how to make it in a specific way. And we also need a small discuss between three of us.
Yes. So let's have a longer break that you can discuss the way of a document and a business plan, and then we do a question answer that you and we can become concrete, that you ask, and we have a discussion about this. But in general, a business plan is the major part.
Yeah.
For figures, to put the figures into the overall document, and the overall document is everything which you cannot get the information out of a business plan. A concept you cannot define in a business plan. Your strategy you cannot define in the business plan. In the business plan, you can define everything which is at the end of the game a figure, a number, which supports what you write or what you want to describe in your business. Okay, so we have now 11:15. How much time do you want to invest?
15 minutes.
15. Let's go 30.
Okay.
Yeah. So in 30 minutes we come back.
Okay.
Yeah. Take your time.